have some fun and throw in some accents into some of
I
these
would love to.
stories?
I would very much been looking forward to this. And I've been reading these two, and they're right in this nice little middle area of having some juicy dialect in there, but nothing that we're gonna get bananaed over. So
That banana. I have to tell you guys. So whenever I email Jack, he always says yes, ma'am, and no, ma'am. Jack, are you good for this? Do you want to look at this script? Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
yeah.
He truly is this polite and this just engaging and charming in written form, in person. Okay, not in person. Zoom is as close to in person as I get. But at someday, when you're in my state, you and
Mm.
I will we'll go get lunch, and I'll be the envy of the envy of all of book talk.
And you can thank Mama Copper on that one. She was the one who raised me. So
Yes, thank you, Mama Copper. Yeah, we crossed paths serendipitously. Thank you guys for tagging me for it was something you were like, I'm gonna do. If I read that audiobook, I'd be like, you're talking our language. You're coming to our side. And that was such a good day. And one little month later, here we are. And I am so thrilled. All right, so my darling, let me find. I think we're going to start with Miss Alyssa Green. We have author Alyssa Green. She sent me what I'm just going to read her quick summary. It said, I call this the negotiation scene. It's from my work in progress, Sunshine and Madness, and
mm-hmm.
Enemies to Lovers, Rockstar Romance, which I thought that sounded like a whole heck of a lot of fun as a good just starter to our live narration here.
I think it's a good idea.
Okay. Oh my gosh, I have so many comments. All right. So, this one is just a quick one page. Ooh, let me bring down my how much that has blown up for me. And yeah, I will do the narration if you want to read. It was thank you again, all the authors who sent so many brilliant pieces of script and just sent me pieces. Thank you for highlighting. Everyone who emailed, I think I emailed about all 100 of you plus back and said, could you highlight the text for me? Because I knew I'd be reading probably cold because there's so many good
Oh,
ones that I knew I wouldn't be able to prep them all.
they highlighted them before they got to you.
Every pretty much
Oh,
every author that we selected, they all did all this extra work. Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
You know
I
what?
mm-hmm. Yeah, I wanted to leave the choice up to Jack, and so I was like, I knew I'd be reading cold, but at the very least, I wanted him to have his best foot forward because all we want to hear is your voice. I'm just here. I will read this incredible narration, but we're here for you. So let me clear my
So
throat
for
here.
this specific dialect that we're looking for or thinking or anything like that,
This is rockstar romance. Do you want to do one of your European? Just for the hell of it. I mean, it's. I'm not sure it's written into the script that way, but if I don't know if Alyssa is here.
oh, the sad part, the first thing that I actually think of is for some reason like Get Into the Greek, Russell Brand as Aldous Snow.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So almost if we ran it like that, that would be kind of interesting.
That's freaking fantastic. Okay, Alyssa Green, we are reading. Let me make sure I want to make sure I get. Yes, this is from Alyssa Green, author Alyssa Green, a negotiation scene from her work in progress, Sunshine and Madness, an enemies to lover rockstar romance. So, all right, I will pick it up from the top, and you are
Mm-hmm.
Green, and I will do everything else, and I hope you guys really enjoy. I swallowed and held my ground. He leaned back against the doorframe, arms crossed.
Why do you dislike me so much?
He asked. My eyes narrowed. Let me count the ways. You're rude, arrogant, overprivileged. He smirked.
Don't get sinfully good looking and a stallion between the sheets.
My nostrils flared. Meeting's over, Rockstar.
We can pay for whatever you need.
He'd said it like it was no big deal. My bills weren't cheap. He had to know that, right? He must have been really desperate, and I wondered how desperate. Should I have been flattered or offended? He was basically trying to pay for me, more like pay for my dancing services. I looked up at him and stepped closer. Why me? What about the other girls who auditioned? Lucas studied me.
Ethan, dismiss them. Look, the producer loves everything about you, and he wants you for the part.
My lips curved up. So basically, you're his bitch boy. A muscle in his jaw ticked.
No, I'm his employee.
I knew that would get under his skin, but I was going to settle for what he was offering me. I want 400 a day.
You what?
You heard me. My time is precious. Yay! Thank you, Alyssa Green. That is some fun. That was a fun accent for it too. So, yay. Rockstar romances are he's doing such a good job. Oh my god, yay. All of these, yep. Do something Helical Rising. Oh gosh. Oh, I don't know. Cece, are you here? Let me see. One of my oh my gosh. Yes. More to trade accents. So I just had come out a book called Helical Rising, which gosh, I would freaking love. You could do
I
any.
swear to God for the
Uh-huh.
rest of
That was great. Oh yeah. Yeah, no, I have to say that was pretty fantastic. So we picked that one.
no.
Thank you so much, Alyssa, if you were here. Go
Say
ahead.
again.
I said go ahead. What are your thoughts?
No, no, I think that was good. On my part, the one critique I will have on my part is that I kind of started as like Manchester, and then I kind of slipped in the Cockney there for a minute, and then I could maintain it, but like the first few words, it slipped into something else. So for me, it's more just getting the warm up and then staying in that one dialect. Um, Other than that, I think that went very well. I mean, your voice is just it. Yes. So
Well, that is very kind. I mean, this is fun, and I do this for a living. And honestly, probably all of Book Talk who is here with us, which is 2,000 people, probably all agree that you
oh,
can do it. That you can do this with me as a career. So
I I just noticed that there was 2K people in here. Like, holy heck, y'all.
yeah, we are. This is because it's cool. I love this new job idea. Yeah, I totally agree. This is
Hmm.
I think, well, my preference, I think we could do a dual or duet. So I don't know if everyone in the audience knows the difference between a dual narration and a duet narration. Dual
Hmm.
is typically like I will do my entire chapter. It'll be the woman's point of view or my character's point of view, and
Hmm.
then Jack would do the male point of view. And so our chapters are separate. But duet, which is what we're doing right now, I read,
Hmm.
regardless of whose chapter it is, whose point of view it is, I read every line of my dialogue, and then you read every line of your dialogue, which is very popular, growing in popularity.
Wait, if I may, I prefer that only because we can have that direct feedback rather than having the you do your part, I do my part. Be like the after meeting.
Yes.
It's I mean it's almost, and maybe this is just for me coming from a theater background where I'm used
Mm-hmm.
to that direct back and forth of like, hey honey, this was awesome. How do you feel about this? How do you feel about this? Or you look at the director and you're like, hey, how do you feel about this?
Yep.
And so there's that direct feedback that you get to have, and it is literally like a performance. Just instead of being on stage, you're
Right.
on mic. That makes
Right.
sense.
Yes, if we are lucky in audiobook world, we are lucky when we are all doing it together. Most of the
Right.
time when I do duet, I am on my own. I record my lines
Right.
and then it just gets sent. Half the time you don't even hear my lines. You do yours.
Right.
So it's an actor's challenge. It's a fun challenge, but at the same time, half the time I don't even hear your voice until the audiobook comes out. So, but you and I, like if you and I were cast for a book to do a duet book together, I would absolutely schedule a call with you. You and I would spend probably a couple hours on the phone and just run lines. Be like, how does this
Right.
character sound in your mind? He's described as sleek and sexy and tall and with gray hair, and that's the whole thing. It's like, well, so how do you hear that? No.
I mean, the army would let me. I would dye my hair gray, but they won't let me.
Let's see. Okay. All right. So the next one, there is a fabulous, incredible book talker that has just been so supportive and incredible in this community. Let's see. Miss Maggie Gates. I don't know if she's here. The comments are coming so fast, but if Maggie, you are here, I think we're going to read from your book. Let me see. Do you have the name of your book on here? Let me go to the top. Cry About It. I
Yeah.
think that's what we're going to do next. From Cry About It, An Enemies to Lovers Romance by Maggie Gates. So,
Mm.
yay. We are going to read, and I'm going to scroll down, and we'll probably do the last two pages. So, oh
Mm.
my God, Maggie, yes, I'm so pumped. Maggie is a wonderful person. Her content is funny and engaging. Her books are incredible. And I think this one, I'm so glad you chose this one because it's too hard to pass up. So all right, so let's see. Enemies to lovers. Let me read her little description here. For a little context, Joelle, mostly known as Joe in the book, is a
Mm-hmm.
crop duster pilot. So crop duster.
Mm-hmm.
So we have that southern, I guess Midwestern, I would say, from my very West Coast idea. A
Mm-hmm.
crop duster pilot who lives on and flies out of the Thompson farm. The farm is in the fictitious town of Marin, Texas. The oldest Thompson son is Vaughn, her sworn enemy. This scene takes place at the end of the book and is their third act crisis. Oh, I love a good third act crisis. Thrusting
Mm-hmm.
them back into each other's arms after a neighboring farm is the victim of arson. Ooh, this is juicy, Maggie. All right. Joe flies overhead to help put out the fire, while Vaughn and his brothers, Ryman and Cash, are on the ground. Whew. All right, let me have a drink of water before we hop into this one. That sounds pretty juicy. Okay, so crop
Well,
dusting
I
speaks
feel
to
like
me to your natural accent, but what are you thinking?
so you think my natural action on this one?
I will leave it to you. I mean, who am I to say it's not crop dusting in the middle of Portugal? But I will
But
leave
like
it
I
to you.
said, crops lesson in Louisiana, and that's sad to me because there's a lot in here that I think that Cajun could actually probably work out pretty good. But from that, I can tell you right now, just for the sake of accuracy, I'm gonna tell you there's probably not a whole lot of Cajuns here.
Oh,
So
Maggie just responded, and she said your natural accent is perfect.
natural action is fine.
Mm-hmm. Yay! Okay. Now I have to switch to tea because I'm excited. My natural drink is I drink about, I don't know, several gallons of throat coat tea every single day. So here we go. Mm, mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize it was Christmas again.
I feel the same way. You guys, we're this is pretty magic. I hope we do this a lot because this is so fun. Oh,
Cajun spot on messy much. So actually, the military course I was just asked for the past month, we
yeah.
had two Louisianans with us.
Okay.
Now and again, I'd slip in Cajun, and one of them would look at me and be like, "Hold on, you said you live where again?" And I'm like, "I live. Your mama ain't from there?" I'm like, "No." He goes, "Your daddy ain't from there." I'm like, "Nope." He goes, "Okay, partner, whatever you say." Anyway, so
Yep.
now and again, engaging with him, and like we were the only two people in the class who really understood each other.
I love it. I love it because it opens up a world and people, even if it's just I understand you're from someplace else and I'm open to it is communicating so much with your body language. Oh, it's just I love it. Yes. Maggie, if you don't mind, I've gotten a lot of what book is this from? I'm going to reiterate that, but if you don't mind just kind of fielding these questions, if anyone has questions, I don't know if this book is out or not, but if you don't mind just posting a little bit, this is from Maggie Gates and it is called Cry About It. Yes, you got here on time. We're reading, this is our second read. So, okay, I'm going to have you open.
All right.
Mr. Jack, if you don't mind, we're on page 9 for me. So, yeah, Joe, I left 18 years ago.
Yep. Joe, I left 18 years ago.
He cupped my cheek and drew my lips to his.
And I think I spent every single day biding my time until I was ready to come back.
His kiss was soft and tasted just the slightest bit charred.
And I think I found the best reason to stay.
I found his hand, tangling our fingers together as I squeezed it 3 times. Vaughn immediately repeated the rhythm.
Joe?
It's something Miss Faith used to do with me, I blurted out, sputtering through streaming tears. She'd say, I love you, and squeeze my hand with each word.
I know.
I looked up at him. What? Vaughn grinned, sliding his hands into my hair and kissing me deeply. His tongue parted my lips as he tasted me with abandon. Morning breath, soot and all.
I know because she taught me the same thing.
His toes bumped mine as he walked me backward. My spine hit the plane's fuselage. Oh, I'd have to look that one up, Maz. Fuselage, fuselage. That is where my research comes into part. Fuselage.
Mm-hmm.
I don't break character very often, in the final product. I almost never.
Mm-hmm.
My spine hit the plane's fuselage. 1 minute. One moment. Pronunciation. I need Forvo real quick. Don't worry. Fuselage. Okay. I had tears in my eyes, by the way, and I lost them. But here we go.
Oh, really?
Because it's so freaking fantastic. In what, 3 lines of dialogue? I'm like, oh, this is such a beautiful moment.
I dropped.
My spine hit the plane's fuselage as his hand slid up my back, cradling my neck to cage my lips against his.
I love you, Joe.
He whispered against my mouth. Warm rivulets ran down my cheeks as he kissed me again and again. I love you too, I confessed. Vaughn's lips barely left mine, only parting enough for I love you slipped in between quick pecks and long, languid kisses. Are you sure about this? I asked in a whisper. You're staying?
I can't breathe when I'm not with you. I need you more than I can explain, and I want you more than I can fathom.
What if I'm not enough for you? I asked, feeling small and meek with him towering over me. My insecurities were showing like cracks in my carefully honed armor. I'm not wife material. I'm not proper or well-mannered. I'm a wreck. I don't want to wreck you, too.
You got something wrong the last time we were in this hangar.
He said.
I don't want to change you. There is nothing you need to change about yourself to make me want you. You are exactly what I crave with every breath that I take.
Vaughn chuckled, smiling against my lips.
I'm not looking for a gentle breeze, kitten. I want you in all your fury. You're a tornado, and every time I've tried to control you, you end up knocking me on my ass. But you know what?
Hmm.
I like getting up and trying again because I like the feeling of full force of everything that you are.
This is. I shook my head. This is crazy. We're crazy. Vaughn kissed me again.
You're crazy as safe with me.
I shook my head, tears streaming down my face, and I silently disagreed. But
Stop it, Joe.
he whispered, cradling my jaw in both hands.
Just stop it, okay?
His thumbs brushed my tears, kissing the path of salt and shine.
Stop wondering what'll happen if it doesn't work. I wonder what it would be like if you just chose happiness.
Wow, Maggie.
Oh,
Hot dang.
Miss me.
Oh my gosh.
That was beautifully written.
Yeah.
I almost tears over that one. The only thing that kept me from going into tears was maintaining my oh my god.
Yeah.
Mm.
I need a cold shower. Yeah. Yeah. Um yeah, okay, I read someone say that. I mean, that's probably true, but I read that. Oh, look at that.
Right.
Love bomb. Oh, that's so cool. You guys.
That was beautifully done. That was beautifully done.
Maggie, that was I only picked the last couple pages because that's where I had the most back and forth, but good gracious, you guys need to buy. Yes. Cry About It by Maggie Gates, because can you imagine that? Maggie, does it already have an audiobook? I hate to step on someone else's project already. I didn't look it up, and that's my mistake. I got too many books, but Cry About It. Maggie Gates. Don't mind me just doing some Googling live. But I hope if he already has an audiobook, it's beautiful.
Mm.
And if it does not, Copper, when are you available?
Well, so with that one, and this is more of a personal thing on my part. First off, honey, all mon Dieu, wonderful writing, wonderful dialogue. As an amateur writer, oh my god, like amazingly well done. And for a lot of that, the sad part is that I almost had to, and part of why I got emotional with that, I was like, oh, this is actually kind of how I talk. So, all right, damn.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Yeah. No, it's not stuffy. It was people really talking, really
yeah.
connecting.
It, it's
Oh,
it's and that's the thing, and that's what I think is really hard to nail down. And as someone who is very poetic and very much a hopeless romantic, it's really hard to draw that line
yeah.
between blown up, augmented hyperbole of how people actually speak to each other. And then when you do have those times where simple plain English doesn't cover it, there
Right.
there is a there is a vernacular and a vocabulary that you have to throw in there because it's the only thing that can even get close to the fraction of what you're actually feeling. And I feel like you captured that absolutely perfectly. I feel like you
Yeah.
did an outstanding job with that.
She says there's no audiobook yet and asked if we want to be Joe and Vaughn. So, all right. Well, Maggie, I think you have my email. If you don't, um, yeah, that was pretty magic. Wow. I'm I'm blown away. It's already been Alyssa was beautiful and that was quick. I only took one page from her, so screams, yes. But yeah, that was pretty magic. Okay, so we have all right, and one that I'm really another one, I guess I should say. They're also look at you, you're so sweet. Oh gosh. You're
Good.
so sweet. All right. I know I saw her when she signed on. Abby, are you still here, Abby Jimenez? I know she's got lots of fans here too. Part of your world. Okay, I have to look up this now too. I don't know if you already have an audiobook. I should know these things ahead of time, but I can only do so much when I didn't give myself enough notice. Next time I'm gonna give myself a week before we go live. This is Part of Your World. So that way I can look up more details by Abby Jimenez. Yes. I'm going to see if you already have an audiobook because I certainly never want to step on any other artist's work. I want to be fair because if it's already done, I'm sure it's done beautifully and I want to be fair. So let's see. It is on Kindle and on Amazon, not as an audiobook. Okay, phew. So, because I want to be fair, I am super excited for this one too. Okay, so this is Part of Your World by the fabulous, incredible Abby Jimenez, and I'm pretty excited for all of this. So
Mm.
they are on Audible. Oh no, I didn't see it. Doesn't say on Amazon that's on Audible.
Oh no.
Hold on, because we will still absolutely read from it. But I don't want to. Let me go to Audible.
Hold on, God, you are a brain copper. I'm not. I'm a brain. I will try. I understand the young kids lingo, so I don't know what that means, but okay, I will try to.
The kids lingo.
Matt, um,
Yes, you take over. You field some questions for me while
oh,
I
right.
while I do some internet research.
So, one thing that I want to ask on this one real quick. So, Part of Your World by Abby. Is Miss Abby actually in here?
She was at the beginning. I don't know if I've seen her comment.
I hear you're
Let's
talking to Mr. Carr later on that later. So, any idea, like region wise, dialect wise, what we're looking at with this one?
Oh, we're kind of effed. Not to say that you're not fabulous. Yeah, she had the incredible Julia Whalen and Zachary Weber do Part of Your World.
Um,
So we're gonna do our. I think you are golden. However, there is no. It's Julia Whalen is the incomparable Julia Whalen. She is also an author, also author herself. So
so with this
yeah.
one, I think if you are fine with it, and if you think it would match. So, oddly enough, I'm back in Mass because this is where a lot of my family lives, and I bounced around between here a lot. I want to see if I can actually delve back and throw a little bit of New England in this one. Because
Mm-hmm.
it's been a very long time, and it's funny because people will be like, hold on, wait, your family's in Massachusetts, but you, and I'll be like, I bounced around a whole lot,
Mm-hmm.
been everywhere, I bounced around everywhere, um, but yeah, let me see if I can.
Oh yes, Abby just popped on. She said New England would be amazing. So
New England will be
right.
amazing. I am
Mm-hmm.
right there for you right now.
Somebody
Uh,
just gave you a mustache. I didn't even know they could do that. A
I,
mustache, like that's amazing.
I do. It's the things that all of a sudden pop on my face. A couple of people have sent you the little heart that comes up to your face and gives it a kiss. It's funny because
Oh,
when people do anything like this, I always do this,
yep.
and then when the little heart that gives me a kiss, I'll just be talking all of a sudden, and I'll try to kiss the little guy in my face. Uh, so yeah, the gifts that they can send us is astounding. It's too
Yep.
funny.
Yes, and your mailing address, it's Massachusetts, right? So that's where family's
Uh,
from?
yes, ma'am. So essentially where I live, which I'll keep private for the moment, where I live, a lot of it gets forwarded to there, but it goes to the one that's listed. So if anybody sends anything, it goes to the one that's listed in Massachusetts, and then wherever I am, because
Oh, good. I
that's what.
wasn't trying to out where you live. No, I just on your TikTok, I could see that your PO box or something was in Massachusetts. So okay.
No, ma'am. Yeah, so it gets sent to there, and then wherever I am, because I bounce around everywhere, wherever I am, it just gets forwarded to me there. So
Love it. Love it. Okay. All right. So part of your world does already have an audiobook, but I would love to do it because Abby sent it and I thought it was pure charm and super exciting. So we will still read it. We've got three characters here. Yeah, we'll read it from the top and I don't know, maybe read to the bottom of the second page. I want
okay.
people want to hear you. Let's see, what color are you? You are Daniel Blue. Oh,
Uh,
you got a lot in the first two pages. Yeah, so we'll do the first two pages,
yeah,
and then maybe we'll have time for one more. Oh gosh, it's already been an hour. This is so
yeah,
fun. I can't believe it's been an hour.
I know.
This is so fun. I know you've got stuff to
Right,
do with
guys.
your. Yeah, your great. Your sister has been so gracious and offering you her apartment. So I want to be respectful of your time. So we'll do this one, and then we'll see how much time we have left at the end.
Yes, ma'am.
Candace and Winnie. Okay, all right. All right. This is, again, Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. Abby, I hope I'm saying your name correctly. Please correct me, do a phonetic if I'm not, but it is Jimenez.
Yeah.
Abby.
So with a little bit so me español no solamente conversacional, pero el nombre de Jiménez is pronounced Jiménez.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, that's the only way I've ever heard it pronounced. But it's too funny when people are like, I'm sorry, Jimenez. I'm like,
Jimenez.
yeah. Oh my god, no.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Okay. All right. She said I'm pronouncing it fine, which means not right, but it'll work
mhm.
for a
And
Pacific
she's
Northwesterner.
yeah, this,
Because she's too gracious to say anything else. Okay, Jimenez. All right. Part of Your World by just the incredible writer Abby Jimenez. All right.
yes.
All right, you start, my friend. You have got a big old lecture to me with the word hey.
Oh god, great. All right. Hey,
A male voice said, coming up behind me, talking to Liz.
I need to close out my tab.
I glanced up. It was Truck Guy. Liz smiled at him. Turning in early, huh?
I had to feed the kid.
He said. Then he turned to me and smiled.
Hi.
Hello, I said, moving to face him. We meet again,
And under much better circumstances.
he said. I smiled. Thank you for earlier. You didn't have to do that.
I think I did.
He nodded at a man at the end of the bar, looking red-eyed and disheveled with 7 empty beer glasses in front of him.
That was your knight in shining tow truck.
I sucked in air through my teeth. I would have been there all night.
Nah, one of us would have stopped. 5 or 6 hours tops.
I laughed, and he smiled at me.
I'm Daniel.
He offered me a hand. Alexis, I said, taking it. His palm was rough and warm.
I think I should give you a heads up.
He said, giving me back my hand and leaning on the bar.
You see those guys over there?
He nodded to 3 men huddled around the pool table.
They have a bet going that they can get you to leave with one of them.
Liz made a groaning noise from behind the register. They're such assholes, she muttered, swiping his card. Brian, too? She asked.
Nah, nah, just Mike and Doug.
He pointed.
See the guy with the glasses?
He said to me. I twisted in my stool to look over at them. Yeah?
Questionable rash.
I snorted, and Liz let out a laugh.
The tall white guy in the cowhide jacket lives in his mom's basement.
He said, going on. The sandy blonde man was grinning in our direction and waving.
In about 5 minutes, he's going to procure a guitar from somewhere.
He looked at me.
He's going to play More Than Words by Extreme, and he's going to do it very, very badly.
Liz was laughing as she slid his charge draft in front of him. It's true. God, why is it true? While he signed his receipt, I glanced at it. It was only $10, but he left a $10 tip. He flipped it upside down and pushed away from the bar.
Anyway, good luck.
He started for the exit. Wait, I said after him. He stopped and looked back at me. How much are they betting? He shrugged, pulling out his keys.
$100.
And what about you? So I'm going to keep going. Is that okay? Okay.
Yes.
And what about you? You're not in on this bet. He shook it. Sorry, that's mine too. He shook his head.
That's not my thing.
No? Well, what if I left with you? Would you win the money? He wrinkled his forehead at me.
I don't follow.
I think I'm going to leave anyway. You could walk out with me, win the bet. He smiled.
You do that?
I shrugged. Sure. He glanced over at the men across the room. Carhartt jacket was holding a guitar. Daniel's eyes came back to mine, and a smile played on the corner of his lips.
If we do, we split the money.
I turned to Liz. Liz, on a scale from 1 to serial killer, how dangerous is this man? Am I safe to walk out into a dark parking lot with him? She smiled. Daniel is the only guy I'd leave this bar with.
I don't know how I feel about that.
He said.
You're my cousin.
She laughed. He's harmless. And he'll keep up his end of the bargain and pay me? I asked. She dried a tumbler with a rag. Even if those idiots don't keep up on their end of the bargain and pay him, he'll pay you. It's the kind of person he is. I looked back at Daniel and he shrugged.
I'm not an asshole. It's my favorite thing about myself.
I felt my smile reach my eyes. He was funny. Okay, I said. We have a deal. I nodded at the bar stool next to me. But sit and talk to me for a bit. Otherwise, they won't believe you wooed me. He looked at his watch. Then he seemed to decide he had time and took a seat. So, tell me about yourself, I said. What do you do?
I'm a property manager.
He said. Liz laughed from behind the counter, where she was pouring beer from the tap. He's the mayor. I arched an eyebrow. Wow, the mayor? He gave her a look.
It's more of an honorary title. This is a small town. My duties are very minimal.
Liz shook her head. He's being humble. He's sort of everything around here. Calls bingo on Saturday nights, volunteer firefighter. He's even Santa. She nodded to one of the framed articles above the cash register. Santa comes to Wakan. The article was accompanied by a color photo of fat Santa Claus with a little boy on his knee. I looked back at him with a smile, and he changed the subject.
What do you do?
I shrugged. Nothing worth mentioning. I didn't like giving out my personal information to a stranger. He didn't push it.
Okay.
He said.
And what brings you to Waken?
I'm coming from a funeral. His face went serious.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Okay. You want to stop there? Amazing, Abby.
We got time. We got time if you want to keep going.
Oh, it's so good. Do you want to do one more, or do you want to keep going with Abby's?
Abby's is what I got in front of me.
Okay, I know. We had so many and so many good ones, and I don't know if you're up for doing this again, but I will keep them in case you are.
No. And I think that this is actually going very, very well.
Me too.
I mean, yeah, if you want,
Yeah,
we can.
no, let's keep going. All right. Where did I? Yeah, okay. I obviously I didn't have time for research, so Wakan, Wacken. You said it different. We said it too in an audiobook. We would take the time and I would look up what the city name was called.
Yeah.
Santa comes to Wakan. All right. Let's see. His face went serious. All right. Back to me. Everyone enjoying it? Amazing. This is gorgeous. Is this a regular thing you guys do? I just happened across this and I love it. I love it too. It is. I think it's going to. Okay,
This,
if I have any say in it, it's going to be a regular thing we do.
this me. I mean, I haven't actually like in essence performed in a very long time, and this is nice for me. I'm not gonna lie. It's been a while.
Yeah, yeah. It's yeah because you have stage performance experience, obviously, right? So yeah. So okay, we have a request for a different accent. How about that? We'll switch it up. I hope that's okay, Abby. We'll switch it up to a different accent.
Sure. What are you thinking accent wise for whoever made the?
You said you have Australian. I don't know. Is that? I mean, it's totally off suits because I already have this in my mind. This guy's from like Boston or something, but I don't know,
Yeah.
something like that. Okay.
Australian, yeah. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Round the regular rocks, the raven runs. Red leather, yellow leather. All right, good.
That's not nice.
No, it's like so the big is that like a lot how I get to how I get myself like centered into an accent
Yep.
is what I do. I basically count from 1 to 10
Yep.
because most of the vowels that you're going
You
to
get most of your
say,
vowels. Absolutely.
most of
Long,
your vowels,
short, broad.
the quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog. I'll do like little things like that, round
Yep.
the regular raven runs, like little vocal exercises that oddly enough they used to do in like Hollywood in like 40s and 50s to get people
Yeah.
sort of like in there. And oddly enough, the transatlantic accent is another one that I do, like the old
Yep.
timey radio.
Yep. Oh, I love that. Love that. A little noir. Mm-hmm.
That quite professionally. It was one that's called transatlantic, and it was one that actually took me a lot of time. Uh, biggest thing was learning to essentially accentuate every single consonant in every single sentence.
Consonant. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I like that hit. Mm-hmm.
Oh, that
Hard
one's
T.
hard. That one's hard.
Yeah. Yeah. I can hear.
And
Yeah.
it only works or like sounds really good if you have it on audio that almost has like that radio kind of sound effect.
Yeah. Yep. I got you.
Sounds, but
Oh.
yeah, I can do the rest of this in Australian if you need. Yeah.
Yeah, I will leave it to you because we have what, one page, two pages left, and
All right.
then I have a whole bunch of narration exposition that I can do or not. So yes, no, yes, I will be recording this. For those who are asking, this is recorded. I will replay it. They want it every Friday. I can't promise we're gonna do this every Friday, but hey, if I can sit here and chat with my buddies and get these. And somebody else asked how to get the scripts in front of us. I put out a call on Monday, so if you're not following me and you're interested in being a part of this, please follow us both. And then my email is at the top of my bio there. And shoot me an email. All I ask, it really did help. And thank you, especially Abby and everyone that we read today. They went through and they highlighted the dialogue, male and female, in different colors. That was
Mm.
huge because basically I mean, for reading cold, I think we're kicking ass. Just my opinion. There was a lot of scripts. I wasn't sure which ones we were
Of
going to
course,
pick.
I'll say one who's got the lighter workload. So,
It's still greatly. So yes, if you can shoot me, anyone can shoot me. I think we'll probably plan on doing this again sometime in the future. If you can send
oh,
me
I
your
would.
script. I don't know. These are I'm enjoying continuing Abby's. It's a longer one, but I would say less, 2 to 4 pages, with a lot of back and forth. So a lot of male female dialogue makes it really fun. If you have like a nice chunky section for the male dialogue so we can hear Copper really really go at it for us, that I have no qualms with that. I asked for male, or I'm sorry, I asked for a female point of view, just thinking I'd go easy on him, but I think he's more than capable of doing a male point of view, ladies and gentlemen authors. So, so if you want the narration, I'm doing all of the character tags. He smiled, she said, he said. But we want to hear more of this fine man's voice. Then by all means, as long as you are up for it, then you can do the male point of view.
Oh, man, I'm all for it. I mean, at this point, if someone was like, hey, Could you read this entire character as Patrick Warburton? Yeah.
Oh God, Kronk.
I'm surprised you know who that is because a lot of people have no clue who that guy is.
I ride Soren a lot. I'm from Southern California, so I listen to Kronk's voice as he's
Yep.
the voice of the ride Soren. So yeah, no, He also speaks squirrel, so if you could do that for us one time.
Oh yeah, I mean Squeaker. Let's see, Squeaker, Squickety, Squeakin, Squeaker, and are you following along? Pay attention.
It's so good. Yeah, no, I'm allergic to those, but thank you.
So it's funny for me. There's certain impressions I can just nail just like this, and then there's other ones where like, oh my god, do an impression of this person. I'm like, I can't, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I
Mm-hmm.
can't. All.
Yeah. Yeah, no, my natural voice lends itself to Megara. So I get, friends call me Meg.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, I hadn't drawn that comparison,
Uh-huh.
and
You hear
now
it.
I can hear it.
You can't unhear it. No, I'm Megara. No, my
On,
natural voice. Some my friends call me Meg. Yeah. A damsel, I'm in distress. I'll handle it. Yeah, no, I get it. Which is funny. I'm nearly 6 feet tall. That woman is 5 foot nothing. And we have the same voice. So, love
German
it.
accent. They ask about.
Oh gosh. Yes. All right. Well, all right. So shall we? I know I am past the hour. So all right, let's finish this out. This is so fun. I love Meg too. I'm lucky that I get that comparison because my voice, this is my natural speaking voice, and
Mm-hmm.
she lends herself well to a fantasy romance, which is works just right for me. So all right, I'll do a little heavy-handed Meg now. Just for
Oh, mon
fun.
Dieu.
If you're doing one, I'm gonna do one. All right.
All right.
Aunt Lil was 98, and she had a very good life. Many lovers, as she liked to say. He smiled. I lived in Minneapolis. I'm just driving through. Hey, is it always this foggy out here? There's fog outside? Liz asked, looking surprised. Daniel shook his head.
Never. It's weird, actually.
Huh. So, you have a kid? I asked. He looked at his watch again.
I do, Chloe.
Oh, how old?
1 week.
Oh, I said, pulling my face back in surprise. She's little. He wasn't wearing a wedding ring. Not that that meant anything. He could have a kid without being married. So, you have a girlfriend? I asked. He shook his head.
I wouldn't take a wager if I did.
Well, you're not actually taking me home, I pointed out.
But I'm pretending to. I wouldn't disrespect my theoretical.
I wouldn't disrespect my theoretical girlfriend. You cut out for me. I want to make sure. Can you do that line again? Because that's good. Oh, can you hit that? Can you hit that? I dropped out. Will you do that line again? It was really
I
good.
would have, but I'm pretending to. I wouldn't disrespect my faith. No. But I'm pretending to. I wouldn't disrespect my theoretical girlfriend.
He grinned. I had to stifle a smile. So you're not with the baby's mother? He looked amused.
Definitely not. I'm fostering.
Liz smiled. Chloe is so cute. He's such a good daddy to her. She nodded at him. Show her a picture. He pulled out his phone and swiped. Then he held it out to me. A laugh burst from my lips. Your kid is a baby goat? In pajamas?
She is. She got us home in a few weeks. She belongs to Doug, the guitar guy. Mom has mastitis. Mom has.
Mastitis. Uh-huh.
Uh,
You wouldn't know that one. That's okay.
it, right? Look, I'm like, ENT didn't prep me for this, you know?
Sorry. I need preppers.
She is. She got us home in a few weeks. She belongs to Doug, the guitar guy. Mom has mastitis and Meg can do middle of the night feeding, so I volunteered to help.
So let me get this straight, I said, crossing my legs. Doug is trying to seduce me with a poorly sung version of More Than Words when he has an entire baby goat? If you had a baby goat, you always lead with, I have a baby goat. He chuckled.
Technically, I have the baby goat.
Liz put ice into a tumbler. I keep telling him his Tinder profile could be nothing but a picture of Chloe and an address. I laughed. Daniel smiled and nodded over his shoulder.
Are they watching us?
He asked. My eyes flickered over to the pool table. Oh, yes. I look back at him. Carhartt Jacket Doug is tuning his guitar. So, how much time do you think we have until I'm serenaded?
I'd say another minute or two.
Okay. I leaned forward. I'm going to pretend that you just said something really funny, and I'm going to laugh. Then we can wrap this up. He put a hand to his chin.
Coin of laugh.
What kind?
Yeah. In theory, whatever I'm saying to you has to be good enough to make you leave with me after only knowing me for 5 minutes. It's going to have to look pretty convincing. I'm blanking Julia Roberts.
This actually did make me laugh, which made him laugh, and it was adorable. His warm golden green eyes creased at the corners, and it lit his whole face. God, he has a nice smile. Really nice. Something about it darted me right in the heart. Took a little of my breath away. We sat there, still cracking up, and I found myself biting my lip and leaning into him a little, and I realized with shock that I was flirting, like actually flirting, not pretending. I'd been with Neil 7 years. I thought Neil would be the last man I'd ever be with. Then I'd broken up with him, and I told myself that I was done. No more men. I didn't need one. I didn't need the hassle. I completely rejected the idea of dating ever again. I'd bought a very nice. Can I say that word? I don't know. I'd bought a very nice
I'll probably leave though.
personal
Like, yeah,
massager.
oh,
And I'd retired myself from the
what
pool at
dialogue?
37.
I mean,
Zero
from the.
interest. Yeah, I don't know what the rules are, so we're just gonna say it. And
Just
now
say,
I was flirting. It was like finding out a plant you killed was alive after all and just needed water. Uh-oh, Doug's coming, Liz whispered. I tore my gaze away from Daniel. Doug had begun weaving his way through high-top tables toward the bar, guitar in hand.
so I'm to go.
Then Daniel said. Then he took my hand, helped me down from the bar stool, and walked me out. Yeah, yeah, that's pretty outstanding. All right, you guys should get it. It's already available in audio. This is done by the incredible Julia Whalen and Zachary Rubber. That was Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez, and whew, that sure sounds like a fabulous book to me.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah, Abby's incredible. So she has quite a lot of books already available, and Julia Whalen, yeah. I'm thrilled to get to be a part of it and just do a little scene for you guys. All right, sir. I know we are on your clock. What are your parting thoughts for our incredible audience here?
So parting thoughts. I mean, like, I would definitely love to do this again.
Woo!
For a few reasons. Number one, I get to work with the lovely Miss Laura Horowitz. Oh mon dieu. Sacre ma
You can call me whatever you want. Just call me Lola. That's fine.
So number one, I get to work with you, which is always a privilege. Number two, I actually very much like this kind of style of doing things because it does offer, number one, a lot of that feedback. Number two, a lot of the back and forth on it. And again, it's just very much the performance of it. Where even when, I mean, for us here, it's on video. But what I've always loved about vocal work, which I mean, even me just trying to get into it and just enter the world, there's so much that you can bring into it just audibly and
Yeah,
just with
yeah.
voice. Um, and you do an absolutely amazing job. I've always been in love with your voice. And this kind of gives me the opportunity to do something that A, I have not done before, and
Mm-hmm.
B, the closest thing that I've done to it, I have not done in years. And quite frankly, um, and yeah, I would love to do this again. I think that'd be outstanding. I would love to do this again if you can tolerate me for that long.
You're so gracious. Oh no, this is a dream. I'm lucky that I get to do this as a career. I am a professional audiobook narrator, and that's not a title I take lightly. So doing this on TikTok with you, I mean, just I mean, the comments speak for themselves. This is a dream. It's dreamy. You're so and truly everyone, like, if you think that he has a persona on TikTok, he doesn't. This is Jack. This is who he is. He is charming and sweet and kind. And what I appreciate most just as a human is he is open-hearted to all people and just genuine, and everything that you see on his channel translates directly. I've emailed him. I mean, I'm type A. I don't believe he is. I emailed him a lot. And he was just as gracious at the first email as he was at my I don't know, 10th. So,
Mhm.
yeah, no, I would love to do this again. I will keep all the scripts. I'm my only regret is that we only got through 3, where I had nearly 100 people email me. So I will maybe send you, well, you'll keep I will keep track of them. Type A me. I will keep them all in a nice Word document for
Yeah.
us.
And I
And
still have
yeah,
these. Well, actually, oddly enough, when we did this, pardon me. So
mhm,
when we did this, I printed out everything that you sent me.
right.
And then when we collaborated, I was like, hey, which ones do you actually want to try and cover within this hour-long time period? The ones that you pointed out to me, which we just did, I was like, all right, let me separate this one, this one, this one. I still have all the other ones.
Yeah,
And so I will definitely hold on to them. I will definitely take a look at them. And if we decide to do this again, if we have, um, the opportunity to go through more of these, I would love that. I think that would be outstanding.
absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. So anyone who is here that didn't already send me your scripts, I'm asking for, I don't know, 2 to 3 pages. If you can highlight them, it made it really very simple. Our job was really fun. If you could highlight the male dialogue a different color from the female dialogue. I don't need the narration highlighted, just the dialogue in different colors.
Mhm.
Makes it fun and simple and easy. So I can read cold, he can read cold if we need be, but I will keep all of them. And I've had lots of, when are you doing it again? I don't He and I will chat and we will do another one. I will say soonish. How about that? I know you're busy and I'm busy. I've got lots of books on the calendar. I'm doing some great ones. I know you are incredibly busy, but soonish we will do this again. I will have you announce it next time, and we can bring
Mhm.
all of book talk to, or all of TikTok to the book talk side. Mhm.
My house, and then
Mhm. Mhm. Yep, I've got all the nice people, so we'll bring your side to
Mhm.
my nice side.
Hey, I'm all for it. I'm all for it.
Yay. Okay, fab. All right, so this is recorded. I am going to, I don't know, it takes an hour. I will send it over to Jack. We will repost it wherever we can. I don't know. I don't know how you do repost an hour long thing, but I'll repost it where I can. We both have YouTube channels, so we'll post it to YouTube.
So,
And
so have you actually gone in and like looked at your recording before? Obviously. Okay.
I've, yeah, please tell me.
Oh
Tell
no,
me.
I haven't yet.
Oh, no, no.
Ha-
It says it takes it a couple hours to process.
Okay. So yeah. So, but you have gone in before and looked at your lives that you did
Yeah,
and know how. Okay, gotcha. Because that was new for me. Because number one, I didn't know I could do that, and number two, the only thing that I'm really disappointed about with that is that you can't go in and see all the comments. Because that
yeah.
was a big thing. Because I wanted to be able to go in and see all the comments so that all the feedback, all the this, all of that, be like, oh, let me run through all this, and then the comments aren't there, and I was like, oh no.
I know. I know. So we'll at least have the video. We can have the live feeds, because yeah, you're right, because there's so many comments while I'm reading. I'm not looking at my screen at all. So we probably missed a couple hundred comments that I will never see. I saw it's somebody's birthday. I didn't see who, but happy birthday. Happy day after
Happy
Valentine's Day to everyone with us.
day, happy Valentine's Day, happy bar mitzvah, happy quinceañera. So
And I did have a request for, what did we read today? So today we read from, let's see, Alyssa Green, her work in progress, Sunshine and Madness. We read from Maggie Gates, and that was called Cry About It. And the most recent one was from Abby Jimenez, and that was from her bestseller, Part of Your World. So we're very grateful to all of the authors that submitted, and by all means, keep sending me more. Highlight them if you can, and we will do this again.
yeah, I would love to. I would love to do this again. This was fun for me. This
Yeah.
was actually quite
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah. Oh, all right, hot stuff. Well, I am so grateful to you, and I guess I will close it out there. Any more questions and things, you can follow us both and message us and all the things. And I will announce, I will have Copperhead. He will announce when we do our next one. I'm going to say in the next soonish, because I don't know. Things are busy. People are busy, but we will do it soonish because this was fun.
Soonish, soonish, honey.
Soonish.
Uh, so, uh, so, Madame, merci, mon cher. Thank you so much for having me on here. And yeah, I would love to do this again soonish.
Oh,
But
yay. All right. Well, I adore you. I thank you, everyone who joined us. And I'm going to close it out here. So have a wonderful rest of your week. And we'll see you guys soon.
all right, thank y'all so much.